P said you caught catch more.
We have taught many young people about the healing process here because we all would share with them, young folks, about using this as their power. How do you get any higher than you are right now? See? Why do you need to mess up your mind? And I've seen a lot of people, many people, give up their drinking and give up their drugs. But that's the kind of lure that goes to that water. When I said it was healing waters, yeah, that's the kind. Not just think it happened.
Because not everyone can fish, tribal fishermen supply fish to elders, family, and friends. This traditional sharing continues today.
True salmon fishing, the true part of it is not just the harvest of it, it's the giving.
That was our way it was brought up. That's tradition. And if you had salmon in your freezer and there's a funeral, you went and offered it. You offered what you had to help feed.
The fish that's harvested are brought up to the Indians that can't travel or don't have the fuel or vehicle to go get it themselves anymore. So when it's brought up to them, it's a real celebration for the people that get to salmon.
And it's funny how important that it is in the elder society for our people to show generosity. That was a thing. That was a thing with the natives, that they had to show that they were generous, show that they were understanding, compassionate.
Soon after the dams were built, the numbers of salmon returning to spawn began to decrease. Environmental changes in the ocean, fluctuating weather patterns, wet years and dry years, and more people fishing have taken a toll upon the salmon runs. For example, in the 1970s, tribal fishermen at the Chief Joseph Dam used to catch 100 to 150 fish a year. In the 80s, that number declined to 60 to 70 per year, and in the 90s, it fell to 40 to 50 per year. Over the years, the Colville Confederated Tribes, other tribes, and state and federal agencies work together to increase the number of salmon returning. Hatcheries are a major component of the restoration effort. The $50 million state-of-the-art hatchery greatly increases numbers of Chinook salmon in the rivers, as well as reintroducing spring Chinook to the Okanagan River.
So it was built in part for lost habitat and to try and return salmon to the people, not only as an important food source that was taken away, but it's also a very cultural icon and very important to the tribes.
Protecting the salmon's natural genetic information is a critical part of the work done at the hatchery. Salmon returning to the Okanagan River and Chief Joseph Dam are either natural origin or hatchery origin fish. It's important to separate the two kinds of fish so the natural fish are allowed to spawn on the Okanagan River. These natural fish are also used as broodstock in the hatchery. Once the salmon eggs have grown into fingerlings, they're ready to be taken to the Okanagan River for final rearing and release. Both types of fish are subject to harvest. The idea is to keep the genetics as close as possible to the original naturally occurring salmon. The goal is to limit the returning hatchery fish from spawning up the Okanagan River and only allowing the natural fish upriver to spawn. Colville Fish and Wildlife biologists accomplish this by netting live fish with a purseyer at the mouth of the Okanagan River. They also construct a weir further up the river. The weir is like a gate across the river where the fish are funneled through. Here they are collected and sorted. These two techniques are part of the process for separating the hatchery fish from the natural fish.
And so with any hatchery program, 100% of our fish are going to be marked for harvest, and they will be available. And so the benefits are big. Here locally, we expect that our adult returns are going to, probably double or possibly even triple from what they are currently.
At the dedication of the new hatchery, tribal fishermen were honored and asked to speak.
When I first started fishing down here, it was like a community of fishermen. We all shared. No one, if you that if you needed anything, anybody help you out. It was its own community.
Us guys from Inchland and all over the place, we'd meet down here and we'd have some hellish stick games. And then we'd wrestle, and then we'd fight, and then we'd drink some beer, and then we'd go fish. It was just a blast.
The old fishermen, they never liked the young kids in the rocks crossing the line. The gourds, and then you snag and throw out, and somebody cross your line and look at them again. Sure, they reel it up, or burn, they smoke a cigarette, they just grab, you're tangled up, they grab the hook, and they burn their hook off and throw their trap.
Fishing at Chief Joseph Dam will always be an important part of the relationship between Indian people and the salmon, providing for generations to come the opportunity to harvest fish, continuing the traditions, culture, and the spirituality surrounding this fishery.
But I think people need to know about this fisheries. People need to know that it's more than just going down and standing in a hot place and jerking for salmon. It's part of who they are, their personal makeup, their way of life. It's part of the identity of being an Indian.
So I think it's critical that we hang on to that little part of corner of our reservation that we have half the river to fish out of, right at the base, all the way across. That we spend the kind of resources. So 60 years from now and 5,000 years from now, the Cabo people are still fishing and still getting salmon.
I would say it's number one priority, that we keep our fishing spot at Chief Joe, that our people have a right to go down there and catch their fish and take it home. It's your way of life, it's your right, it's been here since time began, before dams were even thought of on this river, so yeah, I believe it's number one.